Hi, here's a quick video looking at developing buzz rolls, a sound that's often underutilized on the kit, but it's an opportunity to create a legato sound on the kit, which you might not get other than with the use of brushes. In fact, the motions that we use to play a buzz roll are similar to that which you'd use with brushes. And there's also a chance to develop your touch on the kit, because I think a buzz roll really does require some kind of touch with the instrument, so quite far removed from the pummelling into the kit seen by a lot of drummers. So this approach to buzz rolls I was taught by my teacher Bob Armstrong, who referred to it as the whipped cream roll, and I've heard that. I recall a lesson in Modern Drummer by Ed Shaughnessy referring to it as that, and I believe Buddy Rich used it as well. So it's called that because the motion is like an ellipse, sort of a squashed circle, similar to that which you would have if you were trying to whip cream in a bowl. You need to do it this way as well, which is kind of odd. And so we're not just playing up and down the way we normally would with sticks. It's this slightly horizontal motion akin to what you use with brushes. Check out some Jeff Hamilton if you want to see how that works. So, and this ellipse motion, we'll try and dive into it and avoid too much talking, is what reduces the impact sound of the stick, but also creates a length of note as you drag it across the head. So if I just do it in this hand, that's the kind of thing we're going for, trying to get as smooth as we can get it. And you'll notice that one of the things that, or you may have noticed one of the things that I did there was remove the back couple of fingers off the stick, kind of contravening all the grip rules you might have encountered. But it's the thing that allows the stick to vibrate in the hand a lot more than it would if you retain the fingers on the stick. So the back couple of fingers come off the stick, and it's a similar deal in this hand. You can achieve it under the thumb. I tend to just do it under the forefinger, just feels kind of more delicate to me. And so once you've started to develop that a bit in either hand, the next step is just to try and bring the two hands together. So adding the opposite hand once the first stroke is dying away. I'll just try that over on this drum. This is tuned reasonably low. It might be, I might sound better on this one. So what I'm trying to achieve on either drum is a sound. Two analogies that I recall Bob giving me was sounded like paper tearing, so you just get that consistent tearing sound, or when you've had the misfortune of setting up too close to a loud bass amp and it's just making your snares buzz constantly, so you're just hearing that zzzz sound. That's actually what we're trying to achieve. And you notice there I was playing it quite slowly. That is arguably the best way of practicing a buzz roll, because if you can play them slowly, it's a real test for the delicacy of the stroke. Because if you imagine you do that at twice the speed, obviously there's just much more buzzes in that duration, much more strokes being played. So nice and slow is a good test. And so hopefully by that point you can start to see that ellipse kind of motion coming in this way. I'll maybe do it here. So next we're going to drop it into a subdivision, and this tends to be the point where a lot of students seem to have a misunderstanding of how it's played, because they tend to just play it rubato or in free time without a pulse underneath it. But throughout any of the remaining examples, we're going to keep a consistent pulse. In this case, it's going to be eighth note triplets. So as single strokes, it would be this. And now I'll play a bar of single strokes and then switch to the buzz. So you may have been hearing that as a buzz with the hands just in free time, but they're actually still playing the eighth note triplets. For example, if I took one hand away, you'd still hear that pulse. You might also try that as 16th notes. This is perhaps a good point just to differentiate between a buzz roll and a press roll. So for a press roll, you probably still want to have the fingers removed from the back of the stick because you want the stick to vibrate. But there's more pressure involved, hence the name. If you were perhaps wanting to transition from buzzes into a press roll, perhaps for a crescendo, let's say we're in that eighth note triplet rate, you're going to encounter this kind of sound. I'll go singles, buzz, press. In the press roll, at that tempo, you can hear the individual strokes. And so a neat little trick to achieve that crescendo and the transition from a buzz roll into a press roll is to go up a subdivision. So we go from eighth note triplets to 16th notes, whilst going from buzzes to press rolls. So I'll do this first in single strokes, triplets to 16ths, and then I'll do it as a buzz roll into a press roll. And you'll hopefully hear that lift in intensity. But the main point is my hands are in time. So after I've finished the press roll, I can come out of that with confidence that that's going to crash the downbeat. I'm not in free time. So another use for the buzz is perhaps in comping as well, where instead of playing a single note, you play a buzz sound. A good starting point for that is perhaps this nice swing independence exercise where you play quarter notes on the snare and upbeats on the bass drum. Only now you buzz those quarter notes. And it doesn't sound like much of a change, but actually just leaving your hand down there makes the whole pattern feel different. Here are some other swing ideas utilizing the buzz sound. And then to finish, to start to be able to phrase within a buzz roll, we need to be able to put some accents in it. So you could look at playing some downbeats and upbeats whilst maintaining the buzz behind it. So for example, if I just play those two bars as single strokes, so accent in the downbeat, accent in the upbeat through eighth note triplets, we would have this: 1, 2, 3, 4. And now the underlying pulse underneath, which was single strokes, becomes a buzz. And this final figure is a great challenge. It just involves playing accent in dotted quarter notes over 2 bars, again through the triplet rate, which as single strokes would give you this pattern: 2, 3, 4. And now buzzing underneath. After watching the video through up to this point, I realised I hadn't really included any playing, incorporating a backbeat, or a sort of contemporary application for it. So I thought I'd just do a couple of examples of that kind of thing. So this first one in a 16th note rate. So whenever you hear the buzz, I'm basically playing single stroke 16th notes. And finally, here's that same kind of idea, but through an eighth note triplet rate. Once again, the underlying pulse I'm playing is single stroke eighth note triplets. And in another note, if you're enjoying this kind of material, please subscribe. I'm going to endeavour to upload something once a week. And yeah, here we go.